Glengoyne Cask Strength Batch 10. What's it like, and should you be grabbing a bottle? Stay tuned for the Whisky Whistle. Greetings, my whiskey people. Mark here for Whisky Whistle on YouTube, sharing a little whiskey awesomeness from South Korea, bringing you Glengoyne Cask Strength Batch 10, which I bought this January. It's a few months back, but there's a good reason it took me this long. I'll share that in a different video at some point, but let's get it opened and let's get that poured together, shall we? And after this video, I'm going to be jumping right into the Tamdu batch strength as well. And then in a third video, I'll compare and contrast the two. In the past, I used to record really long videos with two bottles, and I think that didn't work that great. So this is what we'll do. Anyway, in here on Whisky Whistle, we're going to check out the nose together, the smells, well, which is the nose, the palate, and the finish. We'll add a little bit of water and see how that changes things. Finally, I'll give it a Whisky Whistle whiskey score and let you know if you should be grabbing this bottle. And I thought I'd let you know how much I paid for it. And I'll show you the E-Mart receipt. Hopefully that focuses. So I paid 128,000 won in Korean currency, which is the equivalent of about 130 Canadian dollars roughly. Maybe a little under 100 US, etc. Just to give you an idea. You can check out the currency conversion yourself. I thought that was a good deal. It's cask strength, and well, in this case, for the casks, I think we have a mix of sherry casks and also bourbon casks. Let me have a look here. Matured in 1/3 sherry casks, half refill casks, and a small selection of bourbon barrels. Okay, so there's the idea. 1/3 sherry casks. I'd say they're good quality sherry casks because that 1/3 really represents the bulk of this style in the glass. But color, should we check the color out? Not a full-on sherry hue, but it's definitely dark and rich. Is it natural in color? Well, there's one good thing about being in Korea is I get to see the ingredients, and here it says on the bottle, whiskey 원액 100%. So whiskey original, what's the egg? 원액, original elixir, original content, 100%. Anyway, so do we have anything here that mentions it? It just says here, it's undiluted and always unchill filtered. Oh, and then in the corner, here we go. Right here in the corner. Right there. It says natural color. So that's really, really important information, and confirmed by the fact that it says here 100% whiskey with no added color. In Korea, they'll list the color actually on the ingredients list. I think that might be better. All right, so that's the color. Let's get on to the nose. And hey, why not welcome me back to YouTube? It's been quite a long time. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Become a Whisky Whistle crewmate. That would be fantastic. Okay, so the nose. Sweet, fruity, caramelly. So there's a little bit of a caramel note. I guess that's from the bourbon casks that are in here. Where did it say that again? A small selection of bourbon barrels. Anyway, and another interesting thing about Glengoyne that I should mention is that they use no peat. And not only, we think of whiskeys as being peated or unpeated, but quite oftentimes the so-called peated whiskeys actually have some amount of peat drying. However, this one is absolutely air dried. So that's very unique. Anyway, so big sherry component. There's a buttery, kind of a butter ripple, like a sweet, beyond Werther's. Almost getting into like the craft little caramels that come in the little waxy paper. You remember those? And there's a little hint of something kind of coconutty. And a slight milk chocolatey note. And again, another candy that this reminds me of is the Italian 3-color one. What is it called again? Oh, it's gone. It's it's got the brown and the pink and the white. Whatever that is. Anyway, the chocolate side. All right, into the palate. Cheers, folks. Long time no see. Great to be back. Well, I took much too big of a first sip. It's been a long time for me. I think that this recording might be almost a year since my last recording, or thereabouts. Super punchy, super dry. Nice dried fruits, but in a more subtle way. Some good strong caramel and a little bit of brown sugary notes. And it's got a bit of a zestiness in the finish. Sweet, coffee, candy type of a finish is coming through here. I want to try and tame down that dryness with some water. So let me add some. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 drops, about a milliliter of water. Not very much. I could probably double that easily. But I'll leave it at that for now. So June 6th here. It's technically summer in Korea. So they don't follow the meteorological determination of summer solstice being the first day. I think actually May 5th was technically the start of summer here in Korea. And the weather pretty much follows suit. So everything was blooming in the middle of April. My parents were here on an extended stay due to my dad getting sick. I'll leave that for another video. But they got to see winter and spring and summer in 3 short months. Okay, so with water added, the nose has become drier. More of the bourbon is coming through. Now, they mention refill casks. Half refill. What does this mean? Half refill casks. I see. 1/3 sherry casks, 33% sherry casks, 50% refill casks, which could be bourbon, they could be sherry. Glengoyne uses both. They use bourbon for the 10-year-old. They use sherry for the 12. They use both for the 18, and so on and so on. I think they use both for 18. I can't remember. Anyway, but anyway, so then we've got a small selection of bourbon barrels, which obviously is the remaining 16.66%. Is that right? 33? Yeah. Right? 16.66% bourbon casks. Anyway, so amazingly, I guess that's the refill bourbon proportion plus the actual bourbon casks that are really coming through on the nose here with water. There's still a hint of some sweet sherry jamminess. Okay, the palate with the water. It's bringing out that butteriness, and it's still quite dry, and it's still quite nippy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, another another milliliter. This is the kind of whiskey, though, you probably could almost do 1-to-1 whiskey and water and come away with a very enjoyable, sip-worthy kind of a drink. Well, whiskey, obviously, that would really take away some of that cask strength bite. Of course, I know some of you love that. I love the bite too. I don't love the hot whiskey bite, however. Funnily, a little bit of lemon pledge coming through on the nose here with water. Isn't that interesting? That could be some old content that they've added in there. I mean, it's probably 8 to 10 years old, average. Or it could be some of the old refill casks that had old content in it being filled with new make and aged for 8 years, and then getting its 8 liters of old content being added into the barrel. Lemon pledge. A little bit of an orangey note. There we go. In fact, I have to do it. It's going in the right direction. 1, 2, 3, whoops. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. All right, so about 3 milliliters of water in total. More lemon pledge. More bourbon sweetness and caramel notes. There's a slight cola effect. Well, it's certainly complex. I'll give it that. Let me just take a quick moment also to raise a toast to a friend who died, and that is Andy Foodquig. Rest in peace, my friend. We loved your videos. We loved you. And, well, anyway, rest in peace. Really sad that you're gone. I don't know what's going on with this. It is like a sponge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's just get all that in. Okay. The kid playing the recorder. Okay. So we're nearly 1 teaspoon of water in here. And the nose is doing great. It has lost a little bit of its sherry edge to it. But overall, I'm loving the direction of the nose. And finally, I feel the palate is around where I'd like it to be, but not all cask strength whiskeys need this much water. So the fact that I'm putting this much water in should maybe give you a hint as to what's coming. Now, I mean, I like the whiskey, no doubt. That's why I'm reviewing it. But it does have some flaws. Tiny bit of coffee, a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of dried fruits, lots of toffee and caramel. The finish with water a little bit drier as I normally expect. There's something a little bit lacking here. And it's still giving me a bit of burn in the mouth. And I guess that's one thing that probably a lot of new whiskey drinkers aren't aware of. It is that, you know, the burn you associate with drinking a shot of tequila or a shot of cheap vodka or well vodka or whatever. That burn isn't normal. That burn isn't desired. That's definitely a bit of a flaw in distillation. Casks are great. Distillate needs a little bit more slow running, I would say. All right, let's get on to the Whisky Whistle whiskey score. Let me just get one more little taste. Punchy. Flavorful but punchy. Of course, you want punchiness in a cask strength, but it shouldn't be burny also. So, the Whisky Whistle whiskey score for Glengoyne Cask Strength, Batch Strength? Yeah. Cask Strength Batch 10. Batch 10? Batch 10. What is that going to be, folks? It is going to be 82 out of 100. You heard it, 82 out of 100 is the Whisky Whistle whiskey score for Glengoyne batch number 10. No hug for you. And just before I wrap things up, so again, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be jumping right into the Tamdu batch strength number 8, which should still be available. I mean, I should have got this out about 3 months ago. Unfortunately, that's just not how life works for a family man, for someone who's working his butt off to keep his family afloat. Anyway, so that's just how things go. And then you throw in your one of your parents getting sick, and the wheels fly off of the bus of life. I don't know. Did I coin that? I think I coined it. Okay, so I'll be running into that right away, and then I'll be comparing the two. I'll put that there for now, and I'll just segue into the next review. So stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check me out on Patreon, as I said. Tell me what you think of Glengoyne Cask strength. What's your favorite batch? Have you tried batch 10? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment. And one more time, check me out on Patreon. We'll see you very soon. Take care, folks. This is Mark saying goodbye.